So I was scrolling threads and I came across a good amount of conversation starters. So Just Jasmine Black posted this talking about a fake conversation between men and women, saying men say there's no value in marriage. And then women, like of right now, are saying, okay, I would have put I bet. And then the men are saying, see, that's what's wrong with y'all. And this is where they also say, see, this is why you're going to always be single. You're never going to get married. But then the women are looking confused, like, we agree with y'all. Why are you mad? Noetic Muse said to her, had a man today get upset that women were talking and agreeing that all of their grandmothers had told them that they wouldn't have had children, they would have chosen their education, they wouldn't have married their grandfathers, etc. Uh, Imagine that. These menfolk upset about women sharing wisdom to be better and self actualized women. And then Jasmine at the bottom says, it's like when the slave master didn't want us to learn how to read. So I saw this video, and I'm not going to play it because it's copywritten, but she captioned it, the way my date took my plate away from me before I was done eating when he realized I wasn't going home with him. Dating today is deplorable because men really think that buying a woman a plate of food is enough of an exchange to get some nookie. And that is wild. That's wild. So imagine, even if a meal come to $40, that's giving room for the entree and a drink and part of the tip if it's $40. You really think that $40 is a great exchange rate for her body? Like, what are these people thinking, especially when women work? Women actually work. There's zero chance that if I were dating, that $40, a $40 meal would be a good exchange rate for my body. Why are they still on this where they think that simply going out on a date means that you're going to get some? I think we can all understand why women are just opting out because, it takes effort to get ready, to block off your time, and all that goes into dating and, making ourselves presentable and blah, blah, blah. And, a lot of times I think that this is the reason why women just go out with their friends because at least we know we'll enjoy ourselves and there won't be any pressure for X at the end. You just get to go, have fun, and go home. All right, so Thunder Shield says that's why when you go out on a date, you go 50-50 on the bill. I don't necessarily agree with that. If his ego is already bruised by that, then it was just a bad dinner date. No loss, just bad conversation. Hopefully the food was better than him. Ladies, let him pay when you're officially dating. Pay for him too. And again, if his ego is bruised that his girlfriend is paying, then he ain't worth it. It's a partnership at that point. I don't necessarily agree with this because going out with them sometimes the way that they talk to women in general, they have to pay for a date in my opinion because otherwise what would be the incentive for a woman to even go? A lot of these people don't particularly seem likable. I don't think that telling a woman that she's going to go on a date and pay for herself is going to move women to go on a date with these people at all. I don't know. You guys can weigh in on that. Bio Machina says, I feel sorry for what young women younger than me rarely get to experience, and that is real dates. It seems to be a dying experience. Do the men think y'all are out here starving and scamming men to feed y'all? I cannot imagine this headache. So Pimp T is explaining what this man was saying. He was definitely talking in circles. Pimp T says he said he don't expect X, but then he says she just wanted a free meal because she didn't want X. Yes, he was talking in circles. He was trying to act like he didn't just expect X for a meal, but that's what he really wanted. Geneva says, ew, grapey vibes. He's a creep. Yeah, he was definitely a creep. He was going to try to coerce her into X, all because of a meal. And then Sammy K says, first date, guarantee if she had gone home with him, he'd have called her too easy, a whore who sleeps with anyone. And that's the thing. They want to make women into these ladies of the night. They want to make women those ladies of the night, but just for them, as if women just go on one date. Imagine how many bodies they end up with for these people to hate body counts. How are women supposed to have low body counts when men expect X simply for going on a date? Now, I came across this post from my friend Brittany, even though I'm not her friend, I'm not following her. But I found this to be interesting because she has a list of things that she wants or expects in a man that she dates. And keep in mind, people can have whatever preferences they want. I definitely believe that. These are her non negotiables. She says, I don't date men with children. I don't date men with traditional blue collar jobs. I don't date men that don't work out. I don't date men that drink alcohol or eat meat or eat fast food. That is her business. I'm totally sure that this woman knows, I'm sure she knows that this is going to severely limit her dating pool. I am totally sure that she knows that. But if you look at this, she has 232 hearts, but over 1,000 comments. So she really must have gotten the men going. Tsunami Hair says blue collar men are the backbone of our nation. Many of these hardworking individuals, whether they're fixing cars, replacing toilets, welding, or doing other hands on work, earn around 85,000 on average. They often go on to become entrepreneurs, creating businesses, employing the next generation, and putting jobs back into our communities. As a blue collar man, entrepreneur, and owner of a hair care company, I find this thread to be completely out of touch. Regardless, it's her business. It's her business who she decides to date. Even if welders are out there welding stuff and mechanics are out there doing mechanic stuff, that doesn't mean that this woman needs to date them. And then my friend Brittany says, out of touch with what exactly? Because contrary to put a pushed narrative, we don't all live in the same reality. You can't force me or anyone else to desire something they simply don't. This man named Cole asks her, why don't you date these people? She says, number one, I don't have children. Number two, time freedom. And then Cole says, valid. I think what a lot of people get into a huff about is they think they're marriage material despite the circumstances. And when you define your boundaries, that offends their sense of self-worth. Really an ego thing. Good post. So he's a man. He's a married man, so he has no dog in this fight. But he's just trying to ask her while these other people are just getting huffy. And it's definitely weird. Like if somebody wants what they want, they know that it's limiting their options. It's definitely weird. So I saw this post from Delan, the money coach. She says millennials are in their 30s and 40s. Why would they agree to do unpaid work? Why would anyone? And she was commenting on this article screenshot, and it was Muffin Break faces backlash after boss says millennials won't do unpaid work. Some of the comments: I wouldn't even do unpaid internships in my 20s. And Delan says, same. I couldn't afford to. Allison says one was with the U.S. Congress, and it would have cost a lot of money just to take the metro down there every day. They did not provide a stipend for metro. And then Connie says unpaid work is code for wage theft. Wage theft is bigger than all other types of theft combined. They give it a nicer name, but it is still theft. I went and looked up the article. This is actually out of Australia, and it was 5 years ago. But I still think that this is valid because people, women, because my audience is mostly women, need to understand boundaries at work and in relationships and all of that. So it all goes together. All right, so this was 5 years ago. It says the cafe chain Muffin Break is facing backlash from customers after its general manager said that entitled millennials weren't willing to do unpaid work to get ahead. Natalie Brennan told News Corp that there was nobody walking in my door asking for an internship, work experience, or unpaid work. The comments have been roundly criticized. Advocates for franchisees and workers say they demonstrate broader problems within the franchise sector, which small business owners have complained is based on an unsustainable business model that leaves workers susceptible to underpayment. I just thought that this was cool to put in here because it talks about boundaries. And a lot of women, people are saying, I'm not doing this for free. And I thought that it went with the whole thing, like of right now, where we're talking about boundaries and having your standards. All right, y'all, join the conversation, any of these conversations, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.